There is something about the deep south at dusk that teaches you where not to look. You are driving a back road in Louisiana or Georgia, the light going gray, the trees pressing in from both sides, and your headlights catch something that should not be there. An animal, solid, black, cat-shaped, bigger than a dog. It moves in one fluid bound and vanishes into the ditch before your brain finishes processing what the eyes just reported. The official record says that animal does not exist in the deep south, but you saw it. And you are not the only one. From trail cameras in Louisiana to dashcam footage in Alabama, the evidence keeps arriving, and it keeps getting dismissed. So here's the question that does not have a clean answer. What is crossing the road in the dark, and why do officials keep insisting it is not there? The official stance is straightforward. No melanistic cougar or jaguar has been documented in the southeastern United States for decades, and state wildlife agencies from Louisiana to Georgia to the Carolinas all say the same thing. The animal people describe does not live here. And yet the reports keep coming. Hundreds a year. Thousands, if you count the ones that never reach a wildlife office. And it is not just hunters seeing it. Wildlife officers who have spent 20 years identifying bobcats at 50 yards call in the same description every time. A big black cat, long-tailed, moving like a cougar, but darker than oil. Biologists have a standard explanation. Misidentified bobcat. Feral hog in bad light. A domestic dog running through tall grass. The mind reaches for stray dog or big raccoon because those are the categories that exist. But the witness holds to what they saw. And sometimes they bring a photograph. The photograph gets dismissed. Scale mismatch, officials say. The animal in the frame is either too small to be what the witness claims, or too blurry to confirm anything. The photo goes viral, the agency issues a statement, and the cycle resets. Here is the denial in arithmetic. If these animals existed, the logic goes, we would have a body. We would have a roadkill. We would have scat or hair or a trail camera image clear enough to publish in a journal. Without the body, the entire phenomenon lives outside the scientific record. That is where it has stayed for over a century. So you have to ask, what would this animal actually have to be for the sightings to be real? The answer forces you into the genetic record, the one place where the denial might fall apart. There is an animal that has been seen so often in the deep south that most people assume it has a scientific name. It does not. Black panther is not a species. It is a color. Melanism in jaguars and leopards, a coat pattern turned dark by a genetic excess of pigment. That is all the name means. Leopards have never lived in the Americas, so any black panther in the United States would have to be a melanistic jaguar. Jaguars once ranged from South America up through Central America and into the southern United States. Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. The last resident female in the country was killed in the 1960s, and for a long stretch, that looked like the end of it. Then, trail cameras in southern Arizona started catching males again, wandering up from Mexico. One, nicknamed El Jefe, held territory in the Santa Rita Mountains for years. Another male, nicknamed Cinco, turned up more recently doing the same thing. That is the known record now, and it stops at Arizona. Not one of those cats has ever been confirmed east of the Mississippi. But here's the problem. Jaguars are built stocky, big-headed, short-tailed, powerful in a way that reads as heavy. Witnesses in the deep south consistently describe something different. A long-tailed cat, leggy, cougar-shaped. The animal they report does not match any known melanistic felid in the Western Hemisphere. That mismatch is where the mystery lives. Could a melanistic cougar exist? Melanism has been documented in domestic cats, bobcats, jaguarundis, and virtually every other felid species on the planet, except puma concolor. 0 confirmed cases. The textbooks say it does not happen. A melanistic cougar would break a genetic rule biologists treat as ironclad, the same rule that is held for every documented wildcat species on the planet except this one. That sounds impossible, but the historical record suggests it may not be as impossible as we think. The idea of a big black cat in the South is not new. It is not even recent. Colonial records from the 1700s describe tigers and black panthers in the Carolinas and Georgia, often in specific locations with specific details that suggest something more than campfire talk. Some of those accounts specify the color. Black, not the tawny brown of a cougar, not the spotted coat of a jaguar. Black. What stands out is not that these colonists saw a big cat. Cougars were common enough that a sighting alone would not have made it into a journal or a land record. What stands out is that separate observers, writing decades apart in colonies that had no way of comparing notes with each other, kept landing on the same word for the animal. Black. Not the word a settler would reach for out of confusion with an ordinary cougar he already knew by sight. The Choctaw, Creek, and Cherokee oral traditions include big black cats as actual game animals. Not mythological figures, not spirit animals. Animals they hunted or that hunted them. The stories treat the black cat the same way they treat the bear or the deer. A creature of the landscape, not the imagination. In the 1920s and 1930s, bounty records from Texas and Louisiana occasionally list black panther alongside regular cougar kills. The records are spotty, handwritten, easy to dismiss as a clerk using the wrong word, but they appear, again and again. Then there is the 1940s account from St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. A rancher shot a big black cat on his property and brought it into town. People saw it. People remembered it, but no photograph was preserved. No specimen was submitted to a university or a state agency. The cat went into the ground, and the story went into the local record, and that is where it stayed. This is the pattern that repeats. First-person accounts, no physical evidence. For 200 years. After 1950, state wildlife agencies stopped including black panther on any species list. They classified the sightings as hysteria or folklore. The animal became something people talked about, but no official record acknowledged. It slipped out of the scientific literature entirely. But here's the thing. Folklore does not produce a rancher carrying a dead cat into town. Folklore does not produce a naturalist like Audubon writing it down in his journal. And folklore does not produce law enforcement dashcam footage. Somewhere in the 21st century, that footage arrived. The skeptical counter is reasonable. Trail cameras distort scale. Fisheye lenses make animals look bigger than they are, and without a clear reference point in the frame, you cannot reliably estimate size. Melanistic bobcats are real. They exist. But bobcats max out at 40 pounds, and 40 pounds is a big house cat with short legs. In 2017, a trail camera in Tensas Parish, Louisiana, captured an image of a large black cat. The image went viral, the way these things do, and people who had been seeing black cats for years pointed to it and said there. The Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries looked at the same image and said it was a bear or a hog. In 2019, a family in Eufaula, Alabama, recorded a video of a solid black cat walking across their back field at 50 yards. The video lasts 8 seconds. The animal in the frame is clearly feline, clearly black, and clearly large. It moves like a cat, stops like a cat, looks back over its shoulder like a cat. 8 seconds of something that should not be there. Over half a dozen trail camera photos from private land in South Georgia between 2021 and 2023 have not been released to the public, but the owners describe them the same way. It's not a bobcat, it's not a coyote, it's not a dog. They know what they have on their land. They also know that showing it to the wrong person will get it dismissed. In 2020, A police dashcam in Covington County, Alabama, caught a black cat crossing the road at 2 a.m. The officer who reviewed the footage described it as 100 pounds, maybe more, which leaves one place where the truth might still be hiding. Melanism is a recessive trait. That matters because it changes the arithmetic. A single black jaguar wandering north from Mexico is a fluke, a genetic accident that does not repeat. For a population to persist, you need multiple animals carrying the recessive gene, breeding in the same landscape, generation after generation. One animal is a curiosity. A population is evidence. A recessive gene needs two carriers to meet, breed, and produce young that survive long enough to disperse and find another carrier of their own. In a healthy, connected population, that arithmetic works itself out over generations without anyone noticing. But the Southeast is not a connected population anymore. It is cut into pieces by interstates, subdivisions, agriculture, and hunting pressure that culls the biggest, boldest Toms first. A cougar population fractured into small, isolated pockets has fewer chances for two recessive carriers to ever cross paths, and every generation that fails to pair them off pushes the trait closer to disappearing rather than spreading. If a melanistic lineage exists in the Deep South, it survives in the gaps between all that fragmentation, in exactly the country nobody bothers to search. Then why hasn't anyone found one? Look at the landscape. 200 million acres of private timberland, swamp, and bottomland hardwood forest, roughly the size of Texas and Oklahoma combined. Most of it with no roads, no trails, no reason for anyone to walk through it. Cougars are solitary, secretive, and nocturnal, and they die in thick cover where the forest takes them back in days. A cat that size, dying in country that thick, could stay hidden for 100 years. Here is the irony. Biologists say no evidence means the animals do not exist. But that same reasoning would have denied the Florida panther still existed in the 1970s. The Florida panther was declared extinct in the wild. Then a small breeding population was discovered in the swamps of South Florida, living in exactly the kind of country nobody was searching. They had been there the whole time. Is the absence of evidence really evidence of absence? Or is the black panther living in the same blind spot that saved the Florida panther? The animal does not care about our categories. It only cares about cover. But that cover is getting thinner every year. Another development. Another camera. Another person with a phone who finally gets the shot that changes everything.